Hello. Today we are going to discuss about the HTML, and before we go far, I want us to discuss about the what is HTML, then discuss about the headings, just introduction, and then we shall be doing how, as beginner, you can be a very good web developer, what practices you should do, and which documentation you should follow. So, without far much go, let's get started. We can go to our website, not website, but our project, and our project is this one. And remember, we can come here and open the Git bash. Then our project is PyCharm. It is in the PyCharm projects under the web dev folder. We can open it with the VS Code. Yes, and last time we loaded our actually we loaded our HTML page in the web page, and this is how we did it: load from templates. And this one it was coming to the our web page after we had configure and setting everything about HTML in our Django project. Now, what is HTML? And what is exactly the HTML? So we can define HTML as but still before we define HTML, we can ask ourselves, what is it and how do we use it? Therefore, we use HTML to structure our websites. No matter what you use as your browser, it could be Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. They all have a single purpose, and that is to bring your files, such as HTML files, CSS files, JavaScript files, in a website that should be displayed. So, for example, you have a blog and you must use either of those, Chrome or Firefox or even Safari, to bring all these things on your website or on your web page, or for other one to see. So what is there? Actually, the foundation of all those, it is HTML. So it's like HTML is foundation of all websites. So you would see a website created using just CSS. You would see any website created just using JS file, but you can create a website just using a HTML files. It may be not great. It may not look great because there is no styles, there is no function, there is no behavior, but still the language HTML can make you have display some text on the web page. Now, what does HTML stand for? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and that one is a confusion, but confusion is not much because that we have so much many language and name markup, but a more important word here is markup because there are so many other markup languages. For example, we have XML, Extensible Markup Language, or GML, Generalized Markup Language, and all these languages shares common history. So it's like markup language is being shared by so many uh, parts of the website, including XML and GXML. So what I want you to note is that if I am introducing you to the most part of basic or the building blocks of all websites, that is documentation. So now I want to introduce you to documentation, and the reason I am talking about it is this. It is very early before even we touch in coding so much. We have only set up the Django and we have never coded so much. So the reason I'm giving you this in this early is because how important it is to your journey as a web developer. One of the key skills of becoming a great developer, in fact, any sort of programmer, is getting good at actually finding out on yourself how you could help yourself, and a lot of that involves getting good at googling. So we have the largest library of the world within the health service, and this is Google. So Google is the biggest library in the world, and information is power. And if you have no information, then you would have not able to develop any website. You would not able to configure the Django. So that is the key, giving you work ahead. And the most important is doing it yourself. Doing it yourself. And where you should go for that, this is you can yeah, this is how you can help yourself. So so how to find specific piece of information that can help us achieve that what you want to know. For example, you want to know about HTML headings. For example, you want to know about HTML attributes. For example, you want to know about HTML uh, tags. Talk about HTML uh, uh, attribute tags, all those, and much, much more. What are you going to assist? How are you going to be assisted to get to know all these? So, for this case, we are going to discuss about the HTML headings. HTML headings. And so we can now head over to browser and search for headings. Let me do it practically so that we can now be able to see. Now let me check whether there is connection. Yeah, there is connection. So we can come here. I use the Chrome because it's best for me. And when you come here, you need to see. Let me just show you how to do it. You want to search for the headings, HTML heading. You remember we had two heading number two in this one. This one is we had here. This is H2, which is heading 2 according to the templates from the arrangement on how the HTML puts it across. So when we come here and we can find that information from the Google search like this. We write headings HTML, headings HTML, and then you follow that one by MDN. MDN is Mozilla Development Network, and these people are the same people who made Firefox. So if you go ahead and click enter, you can see all results pop up. So let's come here and click enter. And yeah, these are some of them from Mozilla Develop Network. Mozilla Development Network is giving us all this. So if you click on here, you can see this is H1 to H6 HTML section heading. So you can go here, you can see this is H1, the Beatles, H2, external morphology, H3, head, H4, thorax, H4, mouth parts, H, H5, what that, H3, and again H4. But actually, when it comes to that arrangement, we should be able to see that the example of error headings, we count from heading 1 to heading 6, and heading 1 is the largest in its font size, and H6 is the smallest in font size. So it decreases with the increase in numbers. The font size is here increasing with it's decreasing with the number of the size. So here we can see heading level 1. This is heading 1. Heading level 2. Heading 2. Heading level 3. Heading 3. Heading level 4. Heading 4. And heading level 5. That is 5. Heading level 6. That is heading 6. So you can see it is decreasing in size. So this is one documentation that I would recommend you to be using for reference when you get stuck. You just write the HTML headings or HTML or something, then you end up you end up with MDN, and then you search. So if you you have seen that, and you have seen that it is coming from H1 to H6, and therefore you can learn more about HTML headings in this page. Now, other thing about that is another source of documentation that I want you to understand, and this is called the W3 schools. And W3 schools is giving us HTML headings and also more than that. So you can also look at that W3 schools HTML heading. Let me take you through this one, and you can come here. You can say that W3 schools heading HTML heading. Then you hit enter, and yes, the popping up here. So this one, we have the HTML headings, W3 schools, and this is what we want. And yes, HTML headings from W3 schools, they are just the same as we have seen. You see, here is giving you the examples: heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. And that is how you should code them so that they can give you that, and that is this. So that is some document that is discussing about that like HTML heading, titles or subtitles that you want to display on web page. And as we saw the other side or the other documentation, that it has got is uh, meaning. Now, the last documentary that I want you to be using as we learn the HTML is called the devdocs.io. So I want to show you that last resource I like using, and it is called like this. Let me search it first. It is called the devdocs.io. So let's search for that. And yes, I like this one using this because you can see it is very organized. It has got HTML5, CSS3, HTTP, JavaScript, and web API. All these, but our major is in HTML. When it shall come to CSS, we shall go there. When it comes to JavaScript, it is still okay, but for us now, we are in HTML. And when you click on HTML, then drop down menu, you can see that we have attributes which are 175 attributes of the HTML. We have elements which are 136 elements of HTML. We have miscellaneous, that is 8, and we have absolute, 27. So for example, the heading is within the is within the it cannot show more elements. I think it's within the element. Why is it not here? Oh, let's go down. Okay, it is there. So you can see we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 to H6. If you click on H1, you can see what is it law about H1, and this is how it is. You see, it is having similar explanation on that of the MDN. You see, H1, what is it? Oh, that one is giving you everything that you deserve. So can see you can read so many things. Heading information can be used by agents, contract, tempo, blah blah blah. So there is so much here. You can read for yourself and get more understanding about HTML. HTML2 the same, HTML3 the same, HTML4 the same, and these headings we use them in that order. So code and on the how they will be displayed. Now that is another resource that is very organized, and you can be using it in order to know this HTML as we continue with learning about HTML. So as I said, it's the best website and put together a lot of the useful products, and we have seen that. So I want us to stop at that, because the main thing today was to show you as a developer how you can be getting assisted when it comes to the HTML. So next time we shall discuss about the project. We shall be using the project based uh, uh, project based approach in order to learn HTML, so that you can do it, not just theory. And we are going to start that by next video. So I want to thank you. I want to share these videos with your friends and those who like to solve problems using programming. And I want to wish you very best. Thank you.